on, on something that's relatively new. We've only been here about 10 weeks or so. And actually this show's, I don't know, 5 weeks old maybe or something like that. And our newest program, the RevMac Pop-Up Film Festival, went off on Saturday without a hitch. It was an absolute blast. I've got to say that getting to hang out with Kelly Pantaleone for an hour and a half was just an absolute riot and a really good time. And if you want to know how good a time it is, look her up. Look at her IG story today on one of the frames, and you will see just how excited she was to win and what she did. And if I can get that up here during the show, I will. But I'm kind of by myself tonight, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that while I do this interview that is coming up. I want to let you know where we are. We're on haps.tv. My name is Revolution McInnes. This is the big interview. The U.S. edition, because we just started our UK EU edition last Friday, and that was really fun. And in fact, I've got a phone call with a potential co-host over in the UK where I've got to get up at oh goodness, I think I have to be up at 4 for this meeting or something like that. And yes, Cosmic Rose, we have our filmmaker, our auteur, I would call him, because he does everything. So, and he has a vision. And great vision. So you're on Haps. Let me let you know how this system works here a little bit. You are out in the chat in all likelihood, or you're watching this on replay, and you can chat. You can ask us questions. You can say, hey, look at me. I want to ask a question. Whatever you can do to get our attention. I will try to stay in the comments as best as possible. And talk with you. And Oniffe knows how to do it. He's been here before because he is the winner of our very first RevMac Live pop-up. It might have even have been International Film Festival, Independent Film Festival then, but that just got to be too many words. And so I took it down a little bit. And he was the winner at Haps. If you like what we're doing in the moment, if you like what you're seeing on the screen, or, if you just like the show in general, you can give an award, and those come from the free coins you got when you signed up, or the coins that you might have already purchased and you didn't know what to do with them. You can give us awards, and you can also sponsor my program. You can sponsor my program by clicking on the sponsor me button that should be out there somewhere for you. And then lastly, on over my shoulder here, you will see over here, I've been told on this side right there, you'll see the album cover for my friend and my advertising partner, Chris Angelis, her album it is out on the 29th. And we are meaning I'm doing everything I can to help did I say Alex or did I say her sister? Chris Angelis get this record out there. So I'm very excited. We're going to play a little promo from one of her music videos that is from the song, which is Meet You in Our Dreams. And yes, and The Skies We Look To is the name of the album. And so there we go. Now, without further ado, and just one quick click on the OBS, and we're going to get to talk to. There he is, the winner, ladies and gentlemen, the first ever RevMac Live Pop-Up Film Festival, and probably other more significant awards in his life. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hey, y'all. How's everybody doing? Good evening or good night or good morning, wherever you are. My name is Oniffe, and I am a filmmaker, writer-director specifically. And when you do independent films, you are the producer. So I happen to be the producer. And I made the short film Echoes of a Winter Sunshine, which Rev is raving about at the moment. And so hopefully some of you got to see it, so you can ask me all the questions you want, while Rev also asks me additional questions. If you didn't see it, it's a short film about two orphans, homeless orphans in Harlem, New York, and how they navigate that space that they're living in. So yes, Without further
Great to
ado,
meet you. We've met, but great for everyone else to meet you out there. The idea of a producer has kind of come up, and we're gonna, we'll start back at Oniffes, when he was 3 and he made his first movie or whatever. We'll get there, don't worry. But being a oh, now we have to actually. So being a producer has kind of bounced around here the last few interviews with directors that I've had. So one of them really well. You're really close, actually. Darian Danjou, right? You guys are good friends. Did I say his last name right?
Yeah, Darian Danjou. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
good. And I'm terrible with names, and in being in this business, it's not good to be terrible with names. But he's talked about this a little with me, and I've listened to him on Clubhouse talk about it too. And it's kind of the business side of the business. And when I was speaking with Gavin Booth just the week before, I guess, or a few nights before, we definitely got into this conversation, because at the end of the conversation, I asked him this question, which was basically, what are you better at as a businessman or a filmmaker, right? As you know what I mean? Now, a producer, they're working within the framework of making the film, right? But I mean, you've got a delineation between executive producers, directors, and money, and everything's different now. You've got directors now that are, well, it's just interesting, the dynamics and all this stuff. So that question is for me, because I think you're been in film for how long have you been making films?
2 years.
2 years. So you're pretty new in the filmmaking game.
Okay, so I've always wanted to make films as a kid, right?
Yep,
as
sure.
An original teenager, all those things. But when you have I'll explain more. Go ahead and finish your question.
Yeah. So actually, what I was going to ask you is how I would think that filmmaking is coming pretty easy because of what you said. You've wanted to do it a long time. How's it dealing with the business side of this business? Like, what's that like? I mean, curious about what your perspective is. So
I'm not in the Hollywood side of filmmaking, so I don't really have to deal with Hollywood. I'm in the independent side, and I chose that on purpose, where I don't go and chase Hollywood. I don't have to chase Hollywood to make a movie, as you can see, right? So I made my film with my community in Harlem, and I made it for free. That movie was made for $0. Roughly every now and then I may have paid for a thing or two, but in the producing side is you go around and you speak to where you live in Harlem, and you say, I have this script. I'll show it to you. Here you go. I'd like to shoot in here. And they look at it and they go, yeah, when do you want to do it? Let me talk to the boss and we'll see what happens. And then I go back the next day or two and they go, yeah, sure. The boss said, yes, let's do it. Just tell me when you want to come by and we'll do it then. And then you set that up. And then I went to the high school right next to where I'm at. And I go, can I shoot in the library here? And they say, yes, but we have to send to Albany just to get the requirements from New York State and Albany for that. And they were like, it would take about 3 or 4 weeks, but yeah, you can, we'll give you approval, but we just have to sign off with them. And I didn't have the time, but the community again rallied. So I went to the coffee shop, asked them. They said, they easily said yes. They closed early. They fed the crew. They did all those things. So the producing side isn't the typical, oh, you need all this money to make this film. Mm-hmm. It is going around and asking your community, who will just come behind you in their rally and say, yes, we want to do this for you. And they'll just back you up. And so I didn't have to put in any of those extra works because I have such amazing people who just said, yes, we believe in this person.
That's a pretty fun way to run your business, because you're definitely not dependent on anybody who's going to say, look, this film is great, and we put $300,000 in it, but we're just going to have to. we're just going to have to stop shooting. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, you know,
And
yeah.
I am beholden to the next film where I do need money to make sure, because I promised the cast and crew who worked on this for free, I promised them that in the next film we make together, there will be money there. And so
awesome.
Using what we did on the first film as currency to raise funds from deal with Clubhouse or spaces like here or anything, just so I can make sure I pay the cast and crew, is a delight. Also, many things came from this. Like the film was on Stars, and it played there. It also, I have a Discovery Pro track with them, so I speak to them on a regular basis and things like that.
Awesome.
So you do get your recognition once you make your product and people believe in you. So for those who want to be filmmakers or those who want to do anything, don't let the system, the gatekeeping system they put in place, stop you. Just go do the thing, because I promise you there are people out there that will support you in doing what you need to do. And then they'll see your work and they go, oh, we didn't know that something like this, was available to us. We are interested in that person. So yeah, that's what usually happens. I like to say all the time, and it's a fact, you see it on Clubhouse, you see it everywhere. No one knows anything. That's a William Goldman line, by the way, who's a Hollywood legendary screenwriter, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. You name it, he's written it. Princess Bride, those movies. And he says all the time, no one knows anything in Hollywood. He's more colorful, but I don't know your audience. I would quote it.
He's more colorful. I like that.
No one knows anything in Hollywood. So up till the studio head, they don't know what will make money, what won't make money. So go ahead and make your product that allows people to feel an emotion. And I promise you they'll come back and they go, oh, we're interested in the product and we're interested in the filmmaker.
Yeah, I have to think that any production that I ever did that we didn't get paid for, you know what I mean? Like when I worked in TV stuff and things like that. But anything I ever produced, I don't think that I ever paid anybody for anything, and I didn't make anything a billionth as good as what you made. But I mean, like, that's something that, filmmakers have probably been doing it, forever, but you've got, the community that's invested in you and you're invested in, right? When I was doing it, I might be grabbing a cafe in downtown Chicago or going somewhere else, and asking for it. But you've got more than just, we talked about this. I talked about this with Olivia Robinson a few episodes ago, that's starting this organization called Black Dollar LLC. And she's doing one of these, it's an app where you can find, Black owned businesses, which there are those apps out there. And that's a great service to have for sure. We've worked with them a couple of times with the nonprofit, like to see if we could get listed and those kind of things. But she's also doing additional stuff, which is teaching people about finance. You know what I mean? Teaching kids about finance, teaching kids in Black communities about finance. And really her goal isn't to just have Black owned businesses get more business, but it's to keep the dollar in Black communities. So the average time that a dollar would stay in a white community, let's say, right, or not a Black community, but a white community, is about it stays there like about 6 times longer than the Black dollar does. So basically the Black dollar goes into the Black owned business, into the register, and that money gets shot out to a white owned bank. It gets shot out to a white, owned delivery company. It gets shot out, to a white owned whatever, and it's out of the Black community. So her idea really is, and in a sense, I think it's the same thing that you're doing, is you're putting currency back into the community. And obviously then that film crew is going to get paid. And I'm guessing you might shoot in Harlem and not everything will be paid for still. And you'll do that. So you're keeping dollars in a sense and work in the community where you're from. And that's just a powerful thing. Besides making an incredibly powerful film, I think, that's why I like having this program, because I get to meet people that, what makes them even more interesting, not more interesting because as a filmmaker, you're incredibly interesting, but what other superpowers do they have back there? So
well, that's the promise of the future films, because I do want to tell stories in the space that I'm living in. And so that's the promise of the film. The next one is going to be, emotional as well, in that understanding, and drive emotion, because that's the type of filmmaker I am. But yes, it's going to take place in the space of Harlem. And we're trying to do some more interesting things, mise en scène wise, just creative wise, on when how the audience feels the emotion, and something where anyone would look at it and go, "Oh, I've never seen that before in color or in decor or any of those things. What is that? Why do I want to know what that is? Let me lean in and see what that is." So those are things where I'm planning on doing next.
So you just you pushed my film school button right there, because you said mise en scène, right? That's old school filmmaking word right there. You know what I mean? And I've got to ask you, because you mentioned a little bit of your influences as filmmakers, but yeah, who are your influences as filmmakers? Because I suspect film back pretty far, would be my guess, if you've wanted to be in film, like in terms of like knowing different people's quotes and things like that. You know what I mean? You've got a bit of a breadth of film versus am I right? Or where are you on that? Like, who are your filmmaking idols, maybe?
I do have filmmakers that I respect big time. It's simple. Spielberg, and I'll tell you why. Spielberg he understands the Hollywood. He has a Hollywood-esque type of filmmaking where he knows how to take a lens and take movement and blocking and staging and all of those things. And he says, "Listen, I understand that I'm evoking the emotion to you in a very Hollywood-esque way, but his craftsmanship is so impeccable that I look at it and I go, wow." Like right now, I'm watching right before I spoke to you, I was watching Steven Soderbergh took Raiders of the Lost Ark. He made it black and white. And he took the sound design from the Social Network, and he took the audio out of Raiders and he just put that over it. And you watch it in black and white without any of the color noise, with all these things, and you just focus and you watch it. You just look at the craftsmanship that Spielberg could tell you a story, a complex story in that way with no words whatsoever. You could just
follow
that's something
it along. That's something that you and I also agreed on last week or 2 weeks ago, which was the group of people that are like, what the fuck they put sound in movies for? They ruined them. I'm never going to watch one again. That's
it right there. And so being able to evoke. So I love that about Spielberg's ability. David Fincher's a huge, I know he's newer, but he's a huge influence in terms of his craftsmanship. I respect the craft. He can, just his ability to, Mank may not be like the most riveting movie in terms of screenplay, but my God, the craftsmanship is top tier. And if we go back before that, Kurosawa, I'm a big fan of Kurosawa.
Very good.
Not Yojimbo, but Sanjuro is my favorite overall. Like, I love that movie. Redbeard is also up there in terms of what Kurosawa is on. Ron, The Hidden Fortress, those things that you can see his influence on Spielberg in the movement of how things going. Lawrence of Arabia with I can't think of his name right now, but David Lean. Yeah. The shots, the cinematic shots that film has in terms of composition, and just looking at how he composes a shot and these wide shots that have this scope to it is on another level. And it's possible for me as a filmmaker now with the equipment to actually do that. So we're doing it on my next.
Right. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, because I was just going to say with David Lean, he was shooting that in 35 with a freaking camera and a cinematographer and a somebody sitting on the rig, pushing all the buttons and making sure the exposures were right and everything. All the things that you kind of do today, but they didn't have the DaVinci Resolve, engine there to cover anything that they might need, or they can just shoot it flat and we'll make it look beautiful. No, it actually freaking looks beautiful on film because that's what they captured, right?
And worked it in with coloring. They did coloring, but they only had the red, green, and blue to adjust the coloring from.
Right.
Yeah. And just being able to shoot that, but the composition and not the flat lighting, but someone was able to take out their meter and spot meter and actually meter each area so that you get to understand the differences between the ranges of light. Stoplight over the different stoplight over here, over there, all those things.
And you couldn't look at it live like you can now, on a big ass monitor. I've seen some of these film crews when they come into Chicago, and they literally have like enough gear to launch a freaking rocket. Like, it's insane. Because when I got in film, we still learned to cut 8mm, literally razor slice it, and put it together. And that was, you got to undo the little lock. So the craft too, you mentioned this, and this comes up, I think, a lot too, which I think is something that's important for people that don't know film to really understand that, of course, film in itself is some kind of, can be art, but filmmaking is really way more about craft than art to me, because you've got gaffers, you've got assistant directors, you've got associate producers, you've got lighting techs, you got sound techs, you have all of these people that have to work together, and they have to have honed their individual crafts, and then you as the director, have to put all that together. It's a very fun experience, no doubt. It could be really stressful, but what's life? We've talked a little bit about producing. What's life like as a director?
That's the fun part. It really is the fun part. That's what I wanted to do that as a teenager when I began, but because I'm originally from Jamaica, and so I'm born and raised and came here. And your parents, when they don't understand a thing, then they put every obstacle in your way to stop you from doing that thing. And so I'm hard of hearing overall, and I was trying, to make sure that doesn't get in the way. But the world, things turned out different. I went to the military academy. I came out. I worked in the world, and I joined the Navy, and I was in the Navy. And when I got out, I was taking these classes to be a physician assistant. So I was taking these pre-med courses, and then they go, you know what, your program is no longer an undergrad program, it's a grad program. And I was like, I'm not staying in school for another 2 years after this undergrad thing. So I was just like, change my major. I'm going to go communications. It was originally digital technologies, emerging media. And then I switched it over to film and television. And Fordham University is here, which is here in New York, is a liberal arts school. That's a Jesuit university also. So it's not a film school. They just have some film classes. And so you don't really you're not in the usual film school, but because HBO first look inside HBO.
Right, it's $9 a month.
Yeah, that was my first film school though as a kid, right?
Yeah,
and so the first looks little thing, and I used to record them off, and I would rewatch them over and over and over.
Oh man, you have it bad for film. Like, man, if film ever broke up with you, you'd be shattered, man. Like film said, Oniffe, I'm just not feeling it anymore, man. I found me a new guy, you know what I mean? And just like, you'd be heartbroken, dude. You got it bad for film. I like that. I like that.
But I never had the video camera, and my dad's a photographer, so I do photography as a regular thing. But
well, you knew what f-stops and apertures and spot. You know all those things.
But my dad put a camera in my hand as a kid, and as a photographer. But again, I was living here with my mother, not my dad. So in Jamaica, and so that creative aspect wasn't there. And so coming here and having that yanked away from you. But now that, I was like, oh, let me go over and do this film thing. And it's the best experience. Like I missed out, even though I'm sitting there and I watch film all the time and I would break it down and do all those things. And I would make the film in my head as opposed to on a thing, because I don't have a Super 8 like, a lot of those guys. Or my time is now during the digital age where I can make the product at, with the skill set of understanding framing and the language of framing and the grammar that comes with framing, composition from my photography and understanding composition. That's why I walk around and I take my photographs to keep my skill set on composition, understanding lighting, mise en scène, blocking, staging, you just all the things that come along with it. But the most fun part is I understand all those things, but it's finding the people that are craftsmen at the top of the level that you're expecting above yours, and then pulling them together with your passion, and then saying to them, this is my idea, this is what I want, now I want you to make that better. And they go, no problem, we got you, because we feel the same passion you do, because they signed on to the project for what they signed on for, and they want to push forward and do the same thing you do. And that's no, I don't, Nassim. That's just the window, the actual window. They want to push forward with the product in the same way that you do, and they give you and you elevate. And the most amazing feeling is when you see it and you go, oh my God, yes, that's what I wanted. Yes, yes, yes. That feeling is the greatest thing ever, because they surpassed anything that was in your head. And you're just like, oh, I really appreciate what you're feeling right now. And so when your actors give you the same thing, that's amazing. So yeah,
that is powerful. I think what Nazim might have been asking was, are you a photographer in your background? Maybe. I'm not quite sure either, because do you have a photographer background?
Yes, I do have a photography background. My dad gave me that skill set, and I ran with it and protected, seen it. You can go to my Instagram if you want to see some of the shots that I've had in the profession-wise. I just do street photography here in New York. I am a physical therapist by day.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a good spot to let me run a little quick. Oh, and I love this one. Friends are texting me. Okay. About the show though. So and it's going great. It's going great. It's well liked so far, and I'm having a blast. So I'm going to do a quick promo here for, if you notice over my shoulder over here, there is a photograph of the album cover for my friend and advertiser, Chris Angelis. She is sponsoring all of our original programming for the next 3 weeks because we are trying to sell her album that is coming out on the 29th with pre-sales like crazy. So I want to ask all of you to pre-order her film if you're watching this live, if you're watching it on the replay, and if you want a taste of sorry about that, what her music is like. Wow, that was just let's start that whole promo thing over again. Like the coffin guy there. So anyway, the RevMac Live Pop-Up Film Festival over the weekend was brought to you by Chris, the big, watch me type this in here in real time, folks, and not be able to do anything else. Jeez. Big Interview is also sponsored by Chris Angelis, and she's, like I said, our first advertising partner. Go to her website, buy a song, better yet, buy 5 copies, 5 different ways, and I think at that level you get like a signed note from her, and just listen to her music. She's superb. And we're going to take a quick little 30-second, 1 minute preview of her latest song that if you get it on iTunes, you can actually get early. And it's called Meet You in Our Dreams. And Oniffe and I will be back in just a minute.
She's on iTunes.
Never know when I'm dreaming. Always sure that I'm awake. Then I'm running in slow motion through a river of mistakes. I'm reaching blindly. Feels like I'm holding on to something. No hands as steady as it seems. Oh, I can't be with you when the lights go out. But tell me where to meet you in our dreams.
And there we go. Chris Angelis, my actually good friend and advertising sponsor, and just go out there and buy that album. We were talking about good business people. I just have to tell people whenever it's like, what about her as a musician? She's an amazing musician. She's a fantastic, phenomenal musician. I love her music. You can't imagine how much fun it is for somebody who's been around Periscope and stuff for a long time. And you just get introduced to them through this platform and like their music in the 10 weeks you've been here. And then you ask them to be on your show and you put this little advertising thing together. So to be watching like their music videos, like I said, while you're talking to them, it's like with Oniffe here, it's like, whoa, this is like the creator. And like, I'm getting to hang out with them. Like that's one of the great things about what that experience was for you, right? On the film fest was the feedback and people hitting the beats and everything, right?
That was an amazing, amazing experience. The feedback, knowing when you place an emotional beat in something and you see the live response to it. And it's a little bit more than a movie theater, only because in a movie theater, you are sitting there, and I'm a huge movie theater fan, right? You're sitting there, you're having this emotional experience with a bunch of people to the left and the right of you, and then you leave and you get out, and then while you're on your way out, you look at across from the person next to you, left and right, and you know that you've been through the ringer with them. I felt that when I watched $1 Million Baby, the Clint Eastwood movie. I remember that experience in itself. But now this is elevated where I'm watching this with hundreds, thousands of people. I remember that night it went up to almost 900 people, and and people are responding in the chat, and that hit me overall and gave me a completely different experience than I've ever had before. And it was just brand new to me. And I thank you all for that, because I did not expect to be that overwhelming reaction.
And let me let you know something here. So that night, in terms of what we would call original views, where let's see if I can find it. Oh yeah, there it is. So where people at least came in, it had 2,200 live views. So 2,200 people blinked in at least for a millisecond and left, but we're probably there longer. And then there's been another 2.5 thousand replay views, my friends. So this little program here has just over 400,000 views now. And I really am super small potatoes, but you've gotten a lot of exposure, because of these, of these events and these things. So anytime you can get on these live streams and stuff, a lot of people kind of like, oh, poo, like I'm, a live stream. I'm too good to be on a live stream. No, you're not too good to be on a live stream, because look how, many people have watched that, for, let's face it, obscure people, in the world of entertainment or whatever. You might be better known as a physical therapist, literally in the neighborhood, than as a filmmaker. Who knows? So, but got to see that, and every time we bring a new guest on here, people then scroll back through the replays, and we'll see you. And like I said, I think in the green room here, I hope you come back with your next film, or whatever you're working on, all the way through your career, as long as I'm walking around the planet. And I just want to put a call out there to everybody that this guy right here said that he wants to pay his crew. I'm definitely investing money in Darian's films when I've got some extra money. The nice thing with Darian is I can triple his budget for $300. You know what I mean? So like, I could be like, dude, so I own 1/3. How much? I own 3/3 of this, all thirds of this movie, man. I don't know. If I give you $300, if it becomes worth $1 billion, I get all of it. So, and I hope to invest more than that. But he's the king. Like, you're good, my friend, at making movies for no dollars. But, that dude's like his high-tech sci-fi space stuff like that. You're like, whoa, that's like massive budget. And you're like, I did it for $300 for lunch,
He's exceptional when it comes to doing those little things. He is, you guys have to check out his film. He is really, really, really on point with making nothing out of a lot. He puts a lot of work. If you guys really see the amount of work he extends into his project, you would understand why it was $300. There's a lot of his own manpower that he puts in there and does his own CG work, which he's really good at, to get that done. I know actual craftspeople they just do CG, and they do exceptional CG that right. He said he sent them a plate to look at, and they brag about, they're like, yo, have you seen his plating? And this is something that's just got, he's just juggling so many things.
Can I give you a fun story? Because he'll probably see this at some point. But so he was supposed to be on, I love you, Tyrion, but he was supposed to be on Saturday's show, right? The second episode ever of, the Redback Live Pop-Up Film Festival. And like, usually, he's takes a nap or something if you're going to do something with him, and he will show up an hour ahead or whatever. And last time he got so much done for us in the last hour and a half, like bringing you, the winning filmmaker, to the table. So because that was very last minute. And hey, hi Veda. And so he's like not showing up. I'm hitting him up on IG, and I'm like I'm texting and IGing and DMing everybody that I know that knows him. Like, is anybody next to him or anything? Could somebody nudge him, please, or something, right? And nothing. So we do the thing. It's a great time. We had a whole lot of fun, and I fired him. Oh no, I'm just kidding. So it's about 2:00 after the show's over. I get this Instagram message. It's like, dude, I'm so sorry, or whatever, but I fell asleep on Clubhouse. Literally, he's doing something on Clubhouse and fell asleep. The man had just shot a Corona commercial recently. Like, people think, he just does Clubhouse and his films and somehow pays the bills. No, he's got to actually work. So he's shooting commercials and all kinds of stuff. And the dude is like, he's amazing, but yeah, he's going to pop something if he's not careful. He's got to get some sleep once in a while.
Oh yeah. No, he'll fall asleep in the middle of Clubhouse. Like, it's nothing. Yeah. it's usually like, yo, did Darian fall asleep? Yeah, but he's still up doing his thing, and while he's doing 50 other things at the same time. Yeah, that's Darian.
Yeah. What was, so you were at Fordham and you took some film classes, and Darian, I think I've been talking
to get my degree. So you've got to do like your prerequisites. You've got to take like religious classes, all those other things. But to and my whatchamacallit credits, my pre-med credits weren't transferred to this new major. So of course I've got to take film production classes. And so it's like film production 1 and screenwriting 101, which is, I would recommend, don't even, just go read the books. Don't even waste it.
Well, yeah. And that's what we were talking about with Darian. You really...
I didn't learn anything in screenwriting 101, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. I would say what we learned in screenwriting 101 was if you didn't know the actual formal style of a screenplay, you know what I mean? You could have learned that. But I mean, that he had to teach to people. But the idea of a film, like, for example, the guy that wrote the book for Silence of the Lambs, I can't think of his name, Thomas Harris, I think.
Yeah, Thomas Harris.
So if you read his book, it is written like a film. It is just that you could basically just take that book and turn it into, hey, Jackie, turn it into a screenplay. I mean, that's just his style of writing and everything. It translates very well to film, and writing a film, it's incredibly good to be informed about blocking and, framing and all those things. But I wonder if when you're writing, do you take yourself out of all of your director head, or when you're actually writing, are you composing shots and stuff all at the same time?
I'm the opposite. So I write for the action of a thing, right? So I am always in my director head to know where the thing is, and that's how I write. So I don't write like, oh, look, this is the thing, and however. I write the opposite, where I'm a director first, writer second, and the action and movement and how someone reacts within a space to someone else and their frame or their size pushing someone off to a thing or vice versa. That's me, because I always want to be able to visually tell the story without worrying about the soundtrack of the words first. You understand that, and the words are soundtrack that adds to the action that's taking place on screen. So there's a rhythm to the action that's the filmmaking.
Right. And I mean, like there are opposites or even opposition to things. You're like the chief, don't ever put a word in a film if you want to be a good filmmaker guy that I know. You know what I mean? The minimal dialogue guy. So I love it. Because that's like the first thing I really realized about films was, and if you want to save yourself some money, for the most part, not always, it works once in a while, but if you want to save yourself a lot of money, before you rent a film, watch the trailer. And if somewhere in that trailer, someone's narrating in that film, get out. Don't even watch it. Because they basically had no idea what they were doing when they were putting the script together and like, shit, that doesn't work. Now we got to talk our way through it. Right. So if it's a film, if it's not a documentary or whatever, but if it's a film, a movie, a drama or something like that, if somebody's narrating, run.
I have an intense dislike for exposition.
Yeah.
an extremely intense dislike for exposition. Vada, thank you very much. Yes. No, these are, my parents gave me these, so they're not caps. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Also, I'm not an improv guy. No, not really. I have blocking and movement and things like that. That's precise. But within that blocking and movement and framing, I do ask my actors to then give me those things within those moments.
Wait, let me clear all this up.
I meant my own caps.
She was talking about her own caps, not your teeth.
Okay.
I like that. Could have started a war, Oops. That's what happens.
No, good, brother.
Hey, relax, Veda. Chill. Just like we do after the show when we debrief, you know.
No, but it's fine. I would never, ever worry about that. I don't take
Oh,
anything
no.
seriously.
Once you're on one of my programs, it's like the Hotel California, you know, you can check out, but you can never leave. You're a friend for life with all of us, whether you want to be or not. So yeah,
I'm
we'll
with
always get along around here. Yeah, that idea of I'm spamming the big interview. No worries. You're on mute. Actually, nobody else can see you but me. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. The oh, I better undo that. Actually, so that's interesting. So, what do you shoot from? What do you shoot from? Do you shoot from a script? Do you shoot from more of a storyboard? What do you shoot from?
So I
Your
do
head?
my I do have my script. I'm the one that writes it, so I
Mhm.
shoot from that space. But when I shot this film, for example, I didn't have the script on set with me. I just had it in my head. And so what we do with my DP, we sit down right before and we do a storyboard. We do a shot list, and the shot
Sure.
list is the grammar that we're working with. And so we sit down. He's like, so this line, what are we going next with this? So I go, okay, we have a wide here, and then we have a medium and a medium. We have a medium, and then because these two characters are linked, when he comes out, this is a close up, and then this is a close up, and so but when she looks back at her, that's a medium because they don't have that connection yet. She's still distant from her, and so it always will be a medium. But these two are linked, so it's a close up, and the audience will obviously know that grammar automatically because they've watched something so often. But that's that grammar I'm also telling within the film because I've used it earlier in other shots, right? I don't use close up to close up or use close up or even close up on anything because I'm telling the audience this is important. So I'll keep it at medium or I'll keep it at wide, and then I'll have someone maybe step into a shot or stop on purpose, specifically because that's the grammar I'm setting the I inform the audience this is the grammar in the beginning, and I used it throughout for rhythms and beats and all those things. So yeah, it's all purposeful.
Go ahead, Grizz. Ask your. Oh yeah, there you go. I want to know what movie will the guest do next. Thanks, Michael.
I'm sure I can answer that. So I am working on a docu series, but it's a drama. Has a drama, like 15-minute short dramas within it. And that series is about the Jamaica. I'm Jamaican, so this one is a 10-part series. We're working on a pilot right now, which is about Nanny of the Maroons and how she went out and how she formed Jamaica of what it is now. And so she was so exceptional, right? That when they brought her from Ghana and she survived the trip to Jamaica, trying to make a slave, she fought back, burned the plantation, ran away and escaped. And in the process of doing that, she went back and got more slaves and raided the plantation. So she ran away with her brothers and did all those things and went back and saved over 1,000. While doing that, she created a town called Maroon Town, which of the Windward Maroons. And with doing that, she created a guerrilla warfare where she fought the British so hard and just wrecked them so bad that they sued her for peace, her town for peace, and they signed a treaty with her where she had the first sovereign land in the West, sovereign land on Jamaica because they couldn't deal with how she was just wrecking them.
So they made her a country basically, and signed a treaty with her.
So yeah, so she on the island itself, she had this piece of land that the Maroons would live, and so and have it. So she wrecked. She really was exceptional as a woman, as a military strategist, as a leader of people, as all those things. And so she's just top tier in terms of a human. And so she's one of our 7 national heroes, and she is the first, and she's the one that set the tone for how the rest of the island and what you know as Jamaica is today. And so it was all because of her. So that is the first episode we're working on, and it is a docu-series where we go around interviewing. We interview historians, and we go to Maroon Town and we do those things along with some narrative pieces. And so that's what we're working on right now.
And is that, and obviously when you're working on films and projects and stuff, a lot of times there's things that you can't say. But is this something you're producing yourself, like on spec, or is somebody helping you put this together?
I was hired for that.
You were hired for it. Okay. Yeah. And wow, that's pretty cool.
I was hired for that. It's yeah, it's an all Jamaican production. I was hired to bring it to life, and my EP is very cool. And we have the letter from Jamaica to Jamaican ministry to work on this. So we have a full gamut of everything in Jamaica, providing services to get the stuff done. My producer is amazing. She's spectacular. She's just a great person, and so I'm happy to be working on this project with my EP. He's great, and my producer, she's just a wonderful woman. And so, yeah, I have free reign is fundamentally the idea. Like, I have free reign to tell the core of the story. So they find us all the right historians who are here. Everything just like over the top. Just it's so different than my own production, which is free. This is just everyone is rallying behind, just like my production. But everyone in Jamaica is rallying behind this product. And so when it comes time for all the information to come out, you'll be able to see, oh wow, on my Instagram or on these things of all the prominent Jamaicans who are behind it. So
how'd you get that gig, man?
Clubhouse. I was on Clubhouse talking to
oh my goodness. Hey Lisa. How you doing? Clubhouse. Of course you did. Amazing. Holy crap.
Yeah, I was just talking like I always do, and explaining story and thinking about story and how story comes about and works, and filmmaking. And the executive producer messaged me, and we started talking, and we felt each other out for a month and see where we're going. And then they saw my film and realized the emotion that I can bring out in a project.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I was just laughing because they saw my film and I'm like, they realized, Jesus F, we need to hire this guy because he's really good, That's what happened. That's what happened, Oniffe. I'm sorry, but you have not been making films for an extremely long time or anything, and you're a damn fine filmmaker, and somebody heard you on Clubhouse, which is just the most amazing thing, because that stuff's been happening to me lately too. Not, like anybody I'll direct whatever you guys want me to. Just hire me. Anyway. That is awesome. That's a story right there. That's another film right there, practically. That's really neat.
Amazing, right? Where creators, it shrinks the world and it brings all these creators together in refined space. And then that refined space, people go there and they listen to all these creators talk about the passion of what they do. Because for me, it's all about the craft. And I put that in my bio on Clubhouse, where it's always about the craft. And that includes working with people, communicating with people, talking to people, just like how we're talking now. This is a communication. It's a craft in itself, but it's genuine, because it's an inherent thing to Jamaicans, where I just say the thing. I don't care about how you think about me. I'll just say the thing, and this is what I am telling you, because there's a complexity in one finite thing versus the other. And so what you see here is what I am, right? And I hate to say it out loud in that manner because it sounds disingenuous, but it's just, I just say whatever. And so
no, listen, I might need you, because now I did realize that you're from Jamaica, and my executive producer, and I have the 7-year-old associate producer, and so the older executive producer who happens to also be my wife. She's from Jamaica.
Yeah,
and she sounds exactly like what you just described. So I might need
A translator.
we've been together for 8 years, and I've learned I love Jamaicans, and my executive producer's an amazing person, and is but yeah, she comes from a different planet.
You just say the thing, and we're just like, that's it.
Just get it done.
Just get like, we talk and we reason, but it's just like when you messing around over it all, it's just like, come on, man, like get it together. We're all working.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. I love it because I'm kind of like the guy like
too seriously at that in terms of in Jamaica, I can say to my lady, I can say, oh, just joking around. Oh, you're fat, just as a joke. And she will then just, oh yeah, I've been eating a lot, whatever. She'll just take it as a joke, and that's it. We'll run off. And then she'll come by and say something stupid to me. And I'll be like, oh, well, it's just how it goes. It's just,
right.
It's not malicious. It's just, we're joking around. It's
yeah.
As fun jokes, however it is. If I'm in at that, and it's the thing, the important thing is you're hitting me at the core of who I am. And so as long as you hit me at the core, I'm not worried because, you're keeping me as a human being. My head can't get too big, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you've watched more than 30 seconds of me on live stream, I've got a massive ego. I like listening to myself. I'm pretentious and I think I'm smart. You know what I mean? I'm wearing an ascot tonight because I forgot to take my thing down, so like, hello everybody, welcome to my program. I mean, that's what I'm like.
Your voice is top tier fires.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So can you imagine, she's going to kill me if she's watching for continuing to talk to her about her for this long, but can you imagine, my wife who's Jamaican, like putting up with any of that? Like, no, like I'm, if I were to ask her to take out the garbage, which I don't know if I would actually ask her or not, but no, I mean, if I were to ask her to take out the garbage, she'd go, okay, she'd take it out, go down the stairs, put it in the trash, come back up. If she were to ask me to take out the garbage, I'm like, well, I'm not sure how many garbage bags we have. If I take this one out, will we be able to continue to put garbage in there? But, then I'm going to have to check and do that. And actually, I'm kind of, I got a couple of other things I was thinking of doing. So I'll get back to the garbage. I got to, go take a shower and, everything. And the garbage will just sit there. So, and then, before I ever get that far into the dialogue, I'll have been made to take the garbage out. But yeah, so that's just that dynamic. Somebody should write a comedy about a Jamaican and a non-Jamaican in a relationship and some of the fun things that you were describing that can make for fun times.
That's your wife, by the way. Yeah.
Hopefully she is watching because it is fun. That wasn't her, by the way, because that does happen. No, like, so, listen, we're at about an hour here, and I know I caught you last minute, but,
I got time. Don't worry. Go ahead. If you want.
Yeah. We can go a little bit longer too. And what I was going to say was, if you could, like, we should plan, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe, because you did this, you won, maybe in like 3 weeks, maybe have you come back as the winner of the first episode and be a judge if you want, because
I'm a tough judge though, so
no, that's okay. That's okay. We'll that is totally fine. We will go with next week on RevMac Live Pop-Up Film Festival. We have what was I calling it? Horror Fest. And it is going to be all horror films. which, by the way, I still need to acquire. So if anybody has a horror film out there, go to revmaclive.com, and up in the top corner, and the website is not done. This is, I think, the only thing that works on there, is a place for your submissions, or to start the submission process. So send me your horror films, 20 minutes or less. Oniffe, if you know anybody that's got a horror short, please let them know about it. And I'll ask that. I know there'll be a lot of people that'll watch the replay that'll have some industry connections. So please do that. But what's really cool is my advertising partner, Chris Angelis, has a twin sister. So you can Google her, Alex Angelis. And I mean, they are dead ringer. I mean, they just look exactly alike. It's crazy. And she is in a film that was out maybe about a year ago. I think it's called, Revolution. This is why you need notes, but it'll come to me here. It'll come to me here in a second. And we're going to celebrate that film for the whole fest. So it's kind of going to be an Alex, Angelus, and what is the Conjuring, I think? No, maybe. Hold on. Anyway, that film, sorry, I'm doing this on the fly here without any help as an excuse. We're just going to celebrate her and the film for the whole fest. And I am just so stoked that we get to do that. So we're going to have a horror fest. The week after that, we will do the cleansing hour, folks. I'm sorry. The week after that, we will do a regular straight up film fest, where we're judging movies, though we will be judging horror movies. And then probably another one of those. And then we'll have another dedicated episode to a filmmaker or something, so we can kind of get to know them. And I know it may have looked like with the last A Country Romance. There you go. Yes, she's in that as well, right out in Canada now. Very versatile actress and filmmaker and director of some of her sister's music videos. And I urge you to watch Chris Angelis's music videos. They are amazing, like just well shot. These are A-level. These are, these could be used, in any format. They're amazing videos. So, and she's directed those and won some awards. And she's, like I said, she directed some of them. So anyway, that is what that's going to be. And then we will dedicate an event to a specific artist. And I know last week it did look like it was in the bag for Kelly, but it was, we actually voted, and it was a competition. So I'm not 100% where we're going to land on that, because sometimes we may land a little heavy towards the person that we've got on the screen, and versus being a straight film fest. I think that would kind of be obvious, in a week. So we'll see how it plays out, because basically what I said to everybody that's a part of the production is, I can't imagine that Simon Cowell, and I'm no Simon Cowell, would ever let anybody win that he didn't want to promote, So obviously everybody that's up on stage has won, but he could say if there were 5 left, he's like, look, you only get to pick from the first 3. I don't care, whatever, because these are the ones I want to work with. I'm just saying it's entertainment. You know what I mean? So don't believe what you see. So, but I really want to do, and this is where I think this gets, where I don't want it to be nebulous, but everything I do, I told you, everything I do here is to promote the artist, to promote the filmmakers, to put them in the spotlight, to give them an opportunity with my platform, one more small opportunity to maybe make a connection like you've been making at Clubhouse or wherever. So I'm going to be wrestling with what that format, looks like. But at the end of the day, we want to promote those filmmakers, and we've done that 2 weeks in a row. And I am just honored, seriously, to, and this gets said a lot, but to know you towards the beginning of your career, so that I can, go around and say, oh yeah, I know that guy. We're pretty tight. We've known each other for a long time. So it's awesome, dude. I love your work, and I just love you as a person. I love what you're doing for the community, and I love all this that's going on down in Jamaica. I can't wait to see that. I know that they'll have all kinds of big plans and everything for that, but please come here if you want and show the first episode or part of it or something. If you're allowed to do that, because contractual stuff, we'd love to have you.
I'm here to promote. Obviously, I don't know if, based on what he's trying to do, I don't think I could do it in that way, but I'll be here definitely to promote and talk about it and have clips and things like that.
Exactly. That'd be great. That'd be great. Because I want to, help that cause however I can. So
I'll be here to promote. I promise.
All right. That's awesome. That's fantastic. What parting thoughts do you have for the evening?
I'm interested in, for those who want to be filmmakers, come stop by at Clubhouse. If not, hit me up on IG. I'll be more than happy to help through that process. That's, I don't have an issue in sharing my knowledge. So, hit me up on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to share what I know, because I know there's a time and space in your life that you may want to do a thing, but something is stopping you from doing that thing. So you have to do something else. But in the meantime, if you want to fill it with something else or a craft that you're really in love with, hit me up on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to help facilitate you going through that process. So that's one important aspect. Go ahead. Oh,
let me say to you.
And second, it is be true to yourself, because in the film industry, you'll find others that may not be true. Be true to your own voice. Find that voice that makes you in anything, because when you're genuine to your voice, people will flock to you because it is your voice and it is your voice only. And not just people, but all these industries. When I sat down and after Stars, and the email that she messaged me was, let's sit down and talk about your filmmaking. She recognized I had a voice that was coming out of myself, and she wanted to hear that voice because that voice wasn't coming from anybody else. So find out who you are, learn the craft, mix the two, and when you do that, I promise you, folks out there, promise you, they will fly. And you may be doing it for a year, even 2 years or 5 years, and you hone the craft to the top of its ability. And once you get to there, that's when people are going to be like, oh, I want to hear that voice because it's unique. So that's what I have to say.
Well, when you have your next, your project, right? The next film that's being produced by you,
Yes.
the depending on, because I know I'm going to have a lot of sponsors, and stuff, because I'm starting to get them lined up, hopefully here. But I definitely want to do just when you get, if this would work for you, we can talk about it later. But if it would be helpful, to feature you for 3 days, like I'm doing for Chris here or something, on the channel or whatever, just talk to me, man. I'd like to just give you that opportunity to do that, because I want people to be able to see your work. I think that would be awesome. So we'll talk, but
I will definitely be, again, I mean, you messaged me at this time and I was like, ooh, my 11 o'clock had canceled, or 10 o'clock had canceled, so I can fit. I'm good.
Good.
It's the thing. You just work your schedule and I was like,
just give me as much notice as you can. And
no, the world worked for that cancellation, and I was able to come through, and
right.
This is fun. This is super, super fun. I had a good time just sitting here vibing and talking about different things, because your questions were different than normal questions that I get. And so I truly appreciated those. And so it was fun. It was definitely fun.
Great. Yeah. And let's jump into the comments here. Thank you, Lisa for that. And Chris Wiegand, so great to see you. Veda, love you. So glad you were here. Michael Grizz, very nice to hear from you as well. Nazim was here. Jeremy was here. Jane was here. Yeah, what just a great time. And I'll reach out to you. We'll figure out when you're going to come back as a guest judge. That'll be a lot of fun. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then I just want to say too that, what you're willing to be contacted for and give back to, if there's anything in there that you ever need something that I can do, let me know. You know what I mean? Because, I have two missions in life, like everybody probably should. I need to eat, I'd like to not worry about food and, like to make a decent living, and I'm enjoying myself, starting to do that. But my bigger mission is to use my platform. And I've done this in many ways across different jobs and things that I've tried to, is to use whatever platform I have to put people in front of me, and say, stop looking at me. I'm not that interesting. Look at these amazing people. Like the program the last 2 weeks, the reason that it's been good, because I can easily use a phrase like, oh, wow, I got really lucky with that happening. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't get lucky with you being on the show. I know somebody that's really amazing, Darian. I asked him to be on my show and he brought you, right? You surround yourself with amazing people and amazing things happen. So anytime I can help you facilitate helping communities learn to be filmmakers, let me know. I'll be there too.
Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I genuinely appreciate that. So hopefully we would definitely facilitate to reach out and sculpt and sculpt, especially with this wonderful audience you have here, do some amazing things.
Oh, and spread the word. Somebody needs to write a sitcom or something for this platform, and I'll premiere it here. Okay. So if you know anybody, I think it would be funny. How do you do a sitcom in a real live, situation like this? So I could think of 2 or 3 ways, but I definitely don't have the time. So
you guys have been a wonderful audience. Thank you for, again, this live reaction of me being able to talk and react at the same time is great. So you guys have been a great audience. I truly appreciate your time and coming in just to check us out. If you have not seen the film, because it's not here anymore, and it's going to be at the film festival, the Michaud Film Festival. You can find it there. It'll be showing. So if you haven't seen it, hopefully you can reach out there and watch it, and then we come back after that and we can talk about it.
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Of course,
let us know if you need anything. Continue to hone your craft and just, get better and better, because that's a lot of fun.
Thank you. My next project I'm working on, I'm trying to hone it into be a feature, but it'll be interesting. And I think this one is going to hit your heart more than the other one. So
wow. Okay. Well, that'd be great, because this is a film you really, your current film is one you really want to watch. So yeah, it was great seeing you. You can stick around. I'll take you out, but if you need to leave, there's a little exit button down there that'll disconnect any of your social media that might be connected. And it's great to see you, man. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, brother. I truly appreciate you having me on. Much love. And it's East Coast. It's almost 12 o'clock. So that's the bedtime for me. So
good
night, audience. Thanks again for stopping by.
All right, Oniffe, you take care, brother. We'll talk to you.
All right, brother.
Wow. Okay. Like, who's just like the luckiest man on Haps, at least, and maybe the luckiest man in America. I think sometimes when I get to do that, I just want to thank everybody for their support here this evening. Everybody that supports me as a sponsor. We've got active sponsors in here right now, just like Chris Wiegand. I've got folks that will give us awards. We've got folks now like Chris Angelis, who's investing in the program to get her message out there. So please take a minute and buy 5 copies. You're like, what? 5 copies of Chris's album? Because you're going to do a few things when you do that. You're going to give her 5 more sales, and it's only $5 a piece. To be frank, you should be paying $25 for this album, because it is an amazing album. It is a really, really amazing, piece of art, and it's definitely worth that. And by bundling these things, you can help her get qualified on iTunes so that she can get to the top of the charts that she's kind of featured in. So, if you like this show, you could sponsor me, for $25 a month or $10 a month or whatever that might be. But I'd really like you to put that money into Chris Angelis's music and spread the word about her, because that is going to be way more effective right now than a $5 a month or a $25 a month even sponsorship. Although if you want to do $25 a month, maybe you can afford to do both for her and for me. But no, seriously, spend the $25 on Chris, because if we can show that advertising works on this platform, we can get more advertisers. So that's the goal. And please do that. I would be very grateful to all of you to support her. And thank you for watching the program. We will be back tomorrow night, and you can see me on Clubhouse tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Thursday night, we have an hour early. We are going to have a special country Nashville night on the program, and that is going to be a lot of fun. And then on Wednesday night, let's see, Friday night we have Dee Dee, and then this is where, who's my booker? Oh, I am, and I'd have to go look into my notes. We have somebody on Wednesday. Hang on. It is or the Wednesday after. Oh yes, duh. My gosh, what's wrong with you, man? We have Kelly Pantaleone. So, holy cow! Like, we get Kelly like in like less than a week. We get to talk to her twice, so I'm thrilled. And remember to check out her her Instagram story with her excitement of her victory. And thanks, everybody, for watching. I appreciate all of you so much. Peace be